Elon Musk wants to start colonizing Mars in the next 10 years. First, spaceships are to bring the necessary material deliveries to Mars. In the next step, people will fly to Mars for the first time. Time is of the essence, because Mars is only close enough to Earth to send a spacecraft the shorter distance to our planetary neighbor every 10 years. So we can be sure that the preparations for the Mars missions are currently in full swing. Elon Musk wants to bring a select group of people consisting of astronauts, civilians, and scientists to Mars. NASA is watching Musk's plans with great interest. Of course, the US Space Agency would also like to send scientists to Mars. In this video you can find out what they would find there and what frightening things were recently discovered on Mars. But before that happens, we would like to ask you to make a contribution to our channel. We look forward to really good and enriching comments. From now on, the contributions of our subscribers will receive a special award. We give you a heart and pin your confident comment at the top. Make sure you already have a subscription. Like the video and mention both at the beginning of your comment. And here we go. The Mars. Opinions are formed in our heads. Mars is a bone-dry planet with only a few screes. No signs of life, no water. And by the looks of it, no dead Mars civilizations either. Still, Mars is anything but boring. People who want to colonize this planet face unusual challenges, dangers, but also beautiful landscapes never seen before. People who step off the spacecraft on Mars will first feel the thin atmosphere. Bodies are lighter due to less gravitational pull, and days are darker due to distance from the sun. At the same time, strong radiation penetrates the surface from space. Sunbathing on Mars on a balmy spring day without a protective suit would probably result in severe burns. Mars settlers would also have to reckon with seasonal dust storms that are so strong that they cannot leave their living units for days. Life would play out in two worlds. That inside the oxygen-enriched and air-conditioned living and working units, as well as that outside of these protected areas. Outside the doors, these people would find landscapes and adventures that are second to none. These first Mars settlers would have an entire planet to themselves. Peace, quiet, grandiose plains, gigantic canyons, and lots of research goals. After all, the goal of colonizing Mars is not only to establish humans on Mars. The first Mars settlers are to examine the planet more closely and find out whether this planet can be a replacement or an addition to our home world in the long term. The first scientists on Mars would be tasked with finding out where water is on the planet and how it can be harnessed. They would have to examine whether agriculture is possible on Mars Earth and how the climate and conditions affect organic entities such as humans, animals, and plants. We don't know all this at the moment, and NASA and Elon Musk are following the latest findings of the unmanned Mars mission Spellbound. Some of these latest discoveries are encouraging to tackle Martian colonization, and others are so daunting that they could seriously endanger the manned ones. Scientists dream of visiting these places. One thing is clear: if Elon Musk flies the first humans to Mars in the next 10 or 20 years, he certainly won't have to look far. Astronauts, volunteers, and scientists are probably already lining up to be part of this unique event. Researchers in particular are eager to finally be personally present on Mars and to visit all the wondrous places that they have only known from photos or live transmissions from Mars rovers. One of the most exciting spots on Mars is Olympus Mons. At 27 kilometers high, the Shield volcano is the tallest mountain in the solar system. The Canyon Valle Marineris is the gigantic rift system on all previously known planets and stretches over an incredible 4,000 kilometers from east to west. Numerous valleys, chasms, and pools appear as if they were once formed by water. Dozens of astrogeologists and Mars experts would give anything to visit this amazing place in person. In the northern hemisphere of Mars, researchers would encounter numerous craters of volcanic origin. Unlike on Earth, however, they do not spit out hot lava, but a mixture of mud. This could also be full of water and possibly harbor simple life forms such as bacteria. But we won't know for sure until we're able to take samples. The search for water. For a long time it looked as if there was no water on Mars. But then the reports rolled over. Traces of water could finally be found everywhere. In 2007, the ESA probe Mars Express found the largest and most important water resource on Mars to date. Measurements have shown that water is stored in several frozen layers at the south pole of Mars. The water masses are so enormous that if they thawed, they would cover the entire planet with a layer of water 11 meters deep. Imagine that, all Mars covered by water. This find supports model calculations according to which Mars could have been a fertile water source a few million years ago. Once melted, Mars canyons and craters could fill with water again. Of course, researchers on Earth want to know what happened to Mars, that it changed so much, and today all water is bound, hidden in the depths or frozen. Fertile soils on Mars. Martian rocks are mostly composed of regolith. We find this on all rocky planets in the solar system, and regolith is also the base of Earth on our home planet. Regolith is actually a mixture of mineral oxides. The exact composition of silicon, iron, titanium, aluminum, magnesium and other elements can vary. Iron is very high on Mars. The Martian Earth turns red due to oxidation, and this chemical process is definitely evidence that there must have been humidity on the surface of Mars. If there are no life forms such as microorganisms and bacteria on Mars, the Martian Earth would have to be enriched again in order to be fertile and allow plants to thrive. If you've seen the movie The Martians, you know that this could easily be done through the excretions of the Martian settlers. Musk's plans include establishing agricultural survey stations on Mars. The boulders that you have seen in numerous photographs of Mars are granite, a rock of volcanic origin that is also very common here. We build with granite, process it into stairs, sidewalks, benches, and it was also used in houses in the past. NASA's Hermit is currently researching exactly how the surface of Mars is structured, how thick the layer of dust is, and whether there are signs of life. This flying research laboratory is equipped with a special drill that can dig up to 5 meters deep into the Martian soil. The frightening thing so far is that inside hasn't found a single trace of microorganisms or life. This reduces the prospects again. Mars may once have been a friendly and habitable planet. Martian earthquakes, winds and extreme storms. When it gets stormy on Mars, it's not enough to just put on a windproof, warm jacket and still go outside for a bit. Mars storms are true giants, easily assuming the proportions of Earth's continents. They enshroud the Martian surface in a thick layer of dust for weeks or months. This aspect worries the researchers and Elon Musk in the plans for the colonization of Mars. Not only do these storms rage over Mars at speeds of up to 400 kilometers per hour, the fine dust also settles in technical facilities. In 2018, the Mars rover Perseverance also felt the effects. After a massive dust storm, the rover struggled to get going again. Perseverance had been lucky again. Rover's Spirit and Opportunity, on the other hand, were lost after dust storms in 2017 and 2018. How future Mars residents can be protected from this danger is currently being considered. The designs of the planned habitation pods and Martian houses must be adapted to these extreme conditions, and it must be 100% guaranteed that the Muse cannot destroy the dust, ventilation, systems and oxygen supply of the settlers. The interplay of colors experienced by Mars during storm season inspired medieval terrestrial astronomers to believe that Mars had seasons. In a way, that's true, but they're completely different from ours and are much more extreme. When Mars is closest to the Sun, the southern hemisphere experiences warm summers, while the north experiences icy cold and extreme winters with temperatures as low as -100 degrees. The mild summer days bring up to 20 degrees at the equator. Overall, the average annual temperature across the planet is -63 degrees. That way, not really inviting to Mars settlers. But in air-conditioned houses and with protective suits, people could defy the conditions very well. Of course, the first settlements should also be in climatically particularly favorable Mars regions. Danger from the Martian moons? On Earth, the moon provides a gravitational alternating mirror that also shapes our seasons. Mars also has 2 moons, but they are far too small to have a stabilizing effect. Phobos and Deimos also resemble more misshapen potatoes than real mountain. Researchers suspect that the satellites, which are only 27 and 15 kilometers across, are chunks of ice, rock and dust. The moons were named after the sons of the Greek war god Ares, who is the counterpart to the Roman Mars. Phobos means fear and Deimos means way. There is indeed something terrifying about Phobos. Researchers found that the object that appears like a moon today did not form near Mars. It is believed that Phobos was once an asteroid and was locked into the orbit of Mars millions of years ago. Phobos does not orbit Mars in a fixed orbit, but approaches its planet in tiny steps. In 15 million years it will finally collide with Mars. The impact of a 27-kilometer moon could shake Mars significantly. For comparison, the asteroid that wiped out dinosaurs and caused a global catastrophe was only 15 kilometers across. This startling discovery shattered scientists' hope that Mars could be an alternate planet or an Earth too in the long run. As you can see, the colonization of Mars still faces some major challenges. Now tell us how you feel about these discoveries and whether you think it's safe to send humans to this planet. We appreciate your engaged posts, and don't forget to subscribe if you have one and credit the video if you enjoyed it. Until next time on Wikipedia.